Welcome to this introduction to Budley Salterton Croquet Club membership system. What we're going to do is have a look at the membership system, which you'll find yourself using for contacting other members, booking lawns, entering events, paying for things from the shop, and indeed paying for your subscriptions. So the first thing we need to look at is how we actually access the system itself. And in order to do that, there's a number of ways actually. There's a number of ways we can do that. One of the things is you're going to get an email from me, which will give you access to the system. I've just realized my name's wrong here. Let me just change my name. There we go. Right. So one of the ways is through your browser. Another is from one of the emails that you get from me, where you'll have a direct link to the sign-on page for the membership system. But assuming that we were going in raw from the browser, then you do a search on my Clubhouse / Budley Croquet, and that should bring up the link. So Budley Salterton Croquet Club, my Clubhouse. We get that link up, and that gives us the sign-on page to the website. And what you will find is that you click in the top right-hand corner here, sign in, and you'll get the sign in. At the moment, it's set up for me. I will be sending you an email if you've joined us today. I'll be sending you an email with your ID and a password to get started with. You really should change that password. If not immediately, then pretty soon, because it should be something which is confidential to you. But I'm just sending you one just to get you going. So I'm going to sign in as me. And that brings me into the membership system. And what we'll see available to you. Incidentally, there are one or two pages on this that may look a bit different because I'm the membership secretary. I have slightly more options on some of these screens than you might. So the first one I wanted to show you is the info menu. If we drop down on info, incidentally, I will be showing you later on how this looks if you're doing it using a tablet or a phone. But if we drop down from info and member directory, that takes us into the membership directory. Just wait for that to come up. There we go. And you could search for somebody by putting their name in the search button there. So if you put me in, then apply filter, and you will find that up comes the record, and you can message them. If you look over here on the right, if you click the message me button, then the system will send them an email to their email address that they've entered. You can also, you probably will find that you can't do some of these things that I can do, as I say. They're available to me because I'm a membership secretary. So that's accessing another member. So you might want to suggest a date for a game or something of that sort. The next thing we can look at is booking a lawn. This is probably the one you'll use most often. This is the way that we actually book our lawns. So we go to the lawn booking sheet. I might have done a little bit too quickly for you. I'll go over that just again, I think. So it's click bookings, and then you click lawn booking sheet in order to book a lawn. And if you scroll down here, you'll see that we have the next 7 days laid out. And in fact, you can book to this day in the following week by just scrolling from that arrow there. Will take you to the next one. But you'll see beyond that date, you see a little note, can't book. And you can only book up until a week on the day that you're booking. Okay, let's go back. Move me back up there. And then what you see here is a panel for each of the time intervals in the day. going down the left-hand side. So this first block covers Tuesday, the 31st of May, 10 o'clock to 11:30. And then each of the lawns is listed here. If they're green in the background, like we have for 3 north and south and 4 north and south, 7 and 12, for the day that I'm looking at it here, then those lawns are available for that time period. If they're greyed out, they're not. You'll notice the lines through 3 and 4, that's quite common. 3 and 4 we usually have divided up into 2 short lawns, hence the north and south. So the lawn's not available to book as a whole. In terms of lawns, it's worth mentioning at this point, you'll see we have 12 lawns available to book. If you stand in the front of the clubhouse, looking down at the lawns, immediately in front of you is lawn 7, and beyond that is lawn 8. Over to your left, you've got lawn 9 and lawn 10. And next over on your right, you have lawn 6, 5, 12, which is the half lawn, also used as a practice lawn, 2 and 1. And then over on the far right, you've got lawns 3, 4, and 11. So that's roughly where the lawns are. So in order to book a lawn then, let's say I wanted to book a lawn for next Friday. As you see, I'm doing this on the 31st of May. If I want to book a lawn for Friday, and as it happens, I do. So I want to book a lawn for Friday afternoon. So I'm going to look at booking lawn 6. I think now I happen to want to book it for an AC game, so I need 2 time periods, 3 hours for an AC game. So I'm going to book lawn 6. So I click on 6 and up comes the booking panel. And you can see it's highlighted the first period, 13:30 to 1500. If I click on that, I've now got 2 sessions. And over here on the right-hand side, what are we using the lawn for? Well, I'm using it for an AC game. And there will be 2 of us. And the other person is a member called Phil Jones. So I click in that, Philip Jones, click on him, and okay. And that's my booking done. I just need to close that off. And you'll now see that that's gone blue in background because that's now booked to me. You are only allowed to book 2 sessions per day. So that is my 2. If I tried to book another session in my name on the Friday, it wouldn't let me. The system will stop me doing that. You'll also notice that in some cases, the overall panel at the back of the time zone is orange. That means there aren't that many lawns available. If it goes red, there aren't any. The green ones are where you've got quite good availability with lawns. So that's lawn booking. If I needed later on, I decided that I wasn't going to use that booking. If I click on it again, I have the option to cancel it. And that's how I would go about cancelling that session and freeing it up for somebody else. So that's bookings. Another thing we've used the system for are events. So if we look under the events, there's a roll-up calendar. You'll probably have heard about roll-ups where people from all levels of experience gather together at certain times to meet up and play on the lawns. We do these days expect you to book a place on one of these roll-up sessions. And here you can see all the options for roll-up sessions. Let's look at the June week. We've got a golf croquet, we've got association croquet roll-up on the Thursday morning. We've got a short croquet roll-up on Thursday morning, a Thursday evening roll-up for any game. It can be AC, GC or short croquet. So that's how you'd book one of those. You just click the sign up button over there and put your name in. You can see at any time how many attendees are currently booked up on these things. So that's how you go about booking booking an event, booking a place on a roll-up. There's also competitions, league matches, Social events might also be listed here. If there's a social event and you need to book a place on it, like a quiz night, then again, that's the way you do it. So you can book ahead for all these things by looking down these lists. And the My Events one will actually show what you're currently booked into. And for me, let's I've got 18 events scheduled. So if I click on the sort by event start times, it gives you all the things that I have booked into. These are mostly internal competitions that I'm entered into for the year. Okay, so that's the event side. If you were in a competition, then again, you can enter your results using the competition results one. That's probably something you'd be more interested in a little later on. Subs. And again, I've got lots of categories here, but you would probably be looking at my subscriptions under them, which would show you your subscriptions. And if you've got a subscription that's due, then it would come up here and it would show in the right-hand corner here, it would say offered. And it would be white, the whole box would be white, and it's waiting for you to, under the action button, to accept it. One of the options you'll have is accept and pay, and that's where you would accept and pay for your membership. So when your temporary membership is coming to its end, you'll get an email from the system offering you full membership. And if you follow that route that we just did, go in, click subs, my subscriptions, that will take you through to here, and you will be able to accept and pay for online the subscription that you've been offered. The shop button shows you things that are available through the club shop. A couple of key ones there to be aware of, I think. If you're joining as a bridge member, you can pay your bridge table money this way. You can donate to Chris's gardening fund. Chris O'Gorman, the wife of our chairman, who sadly died suddenly last year, and who was a real mover in looking after our gardens. So we now have a gardening fund in Chris's memory, and you're welcome to donate to that. If you have visitors, and a visitor is somebody who would be playing independently, they're coming to the club, they want to play. If they want to play for 1.5 hours, then that costs them £5. If they want to play for 3 hours, if they're playing AC, then it would be £10. However, if they're playing with a member, then they become a guest, and it's half that rate. So if you had a guest playing with you for a 1.5 hour session, then you could pay your £2.50 for that through the club shop. And similarly, for if it was for an AC game and you wanted it for 3 hours, you'd pay the £5. And that's all I think you need to worry about with the system at present. One thing I also said I'd show you though is what this looks like if you're accessing through a tablet or a mobile phone. Excuse me, that was a bit. There we go. Just try to move that so it's a bit more visible. Machine's playing up on me a bit. So you're likely to have more of a cut down screen. And the only significant thing here that I wanted to show you was that drop down the menu that you would have across the top of your screen is now a drop down. If you click that green box with the 3 horizontal lines in, it gives you a drop down menu, exactly the same as was running across the top of the screen before. And again, if you looked at bookings, the lawn booking sheet, to access just the same way, that will come up with the lawn booking sheet in the same way, but it might only show you a day at a time, and therefore you have to roll forward up to about 8 days ahead. But otherwise, it's exactly the same, and that's the membership system. So I hope you enjoy your time with us and playing with us, and hope to meet you on the lawns at some time. Thank you very much.